Hello, today is Tuesday, 16th of November 2021. Today we're going to learn what's the time or telling the time. Before we proceed to our lesson for today, you need to learn this one first. Can you tell me what is it? Okay, it is a clock. And a clock has two hands. Okay, the short hand tells the hour, and the long hand tells the minute. Okay, now let's try this one. Okay, like for example, at the middle you can see a word o'clock, and the next is a quarter. The next one is half past, and the next one is a quarter. Okay, for the green, okay, for the green side, you can say a quarter past or a half past. And for the pink side, you can say a quarter to. It means a quarter to before the time. It means a quarter past after the time, a half past after the time. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, now for this side, it means, okay, how many minutes passed already? For number one, how many minutes passed already? It means five passed, meaning 5 minutes passed already. And for number two, okay, it's 10 past. It means 10 minutes passed already. And for number three, 15 minutes passed already. You can simply say a quarter past. It means 15 minutes passed already. And for number four, 20 past. It means 20 minutes passed already after the time. And for number five, you can say 25 past. It means 25 minutes passed already after the time. And this one for number six, you can say half past. It means half past or 30 minutes passed already after the time. And for this side, okay, for number seven, okay, it means you have to say two. How many minutes left before the time? So for number seven, how many minutes left? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you can say 25 past 2. It means 25 minutes before the time. For number 8, okay, you can say 22. It means 20 minutes left before the time. And for number 9, you can simply say a quarter to. A quarter to. It means 15 minutes left before the time. And for number 10, 10 to. It means 10 minutes left before the time. And for number 11, you can say 5 to. It means 5 minutes before the time. And when the long hands strike the 12, you can simply say o'clock. O'clock. Like for example, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Okay. Now let's try to have this example. Okay, what's the time? So the small hand tells the hour, the long hand tells the minute. Always remember that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So this time is, it's 1 o'clock. What's the time? It's 1 o'clock. What about this one? Okay, the small hand, okay, strike number 9. And the long hand strike number 1. So it means how many minutes after or how many minutes pass after 9? It means it's 5 past 9. It's 5 past 9. What about this one? What's the time? Okay, the small hand strike number 6 and the long hand strikes number 2. So how many minutes pass after 6? So it means it's 10 past 6. It means 10 minutes pass after 6. So what about this one? Okay, what's the time? Okay, the shorthand strikes 7 and the longhand strikes 3. So can you tell me how many minutes passed already? 15 minutes or a quarter past. So you can say it's a quarter past 7. It means 15 minutes or a quarter past 7 already. Now, what about this one? What's the time? Okay, the shorthand strike 2 and the longhand strikes 4. So how many minutes passed already? So 20 minutes passed already. So it means the time is it's 20 past 2. Okay, what about this one? What's the time? Okay, the shorthand strike 11 and the longhand strikes 5. So can you tell me what's the time? How many minutes passed already? 25 minutes, right? So you can say it's 25 past 11. It means 25 minutes passed after 11. So what about this one? Okay, the shorthand strikes 3 and the longhand strikes 6. So how many minutes passed already after 3? So 30 minutes or half past. So you can say it's half past 3. It means 30 minutes or half past 3 already. Okay, what about now? Okay, the shorthand strike 8 and the longhand strikes 7. So what's the time? So you can simply say how many minutes left before 8. So it means 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it means it's 25 to 8. It means 25 minutes left before 8 o'clock. So what about this one? What's the time? Okay, the shorthand strikes 6 and the longhand strikes 8. So how many minutes left before 6? So how many minutes left? 5, 10, 15, 20. So what's the time? It's 20 to 6. It means 20 minutes left before 6 o'clock. And what about now? What's the time? The shorthand strikes 5 and the longhand strikes 9. So how many minutes left before 5 o'clock? So 15 minutes left or a quarter to. So you can simply say what's the time? It's a quarter to 5. It's a quarter to 5. Okay, what about this one? What's the time? So the shorthand strikes 12 and the longhand strikes 10. So how many minutes left before 12 o'clock? So 10 minutes, right? So you can say it's 10 to 12. It's 10 to 12. What's the time? It's 10 to 12. What about now? Okay, what's the time? Okay, the shorthand strike 4 and the longhand strikes 11. So how many minutes left before 4 o'clock? 5 minutes, right? So you can say what's the time? It's 5 to 4. It's 5 to 4. Okay. Now, can you tell me what's the time? Is it 12:25 to 12 or 7 o'clock or 25 past 12? So the right answer is 7 o'clock. Okay, what about this one? What's the time? Is it 20 past 9 or a quarter to 4 or 20 to 9? So how many minutes passed already? So it's 20 past 9. Okay. What about this one? What's the time? So the shorthand strike 1 and the longhand strikes 2. How many minutes? Okay, pass after 1. Okay, 10 past 1. Okay, what about this one? What's the time? Okay, the shorthand strikes 3 and the longhand strikes 5. How many minutes passed already after 3? Okay, it's 25 past
Okay.
3. What about this one? What's the time? Okay, the shorthand strikes 3 and the longhand strikes 9. So, how many minutes left before 3 o'clock? Okay, 15 minutes or a quarter to. So you can say, what's the time? A
Okay.
quarter to 3. Okay, what about this one? What's the time? Okay, the shorthand strikes 8 and the longhand strikes 6. So how many minutes pass after 8? So 30 minutes or a half past, Shamai? A half past 8. Okay, the right time is a half past
Okay.
8. What about this one? What's the time? Okay, the short hand strikes 4 and the long hand strikes 10. So, how many minutes left before 4 o'clock? 10 minutes, right? So, it means what's the time? 10 to
Okay.
4. Okay, so that's all for today. Have a nice day. Goodbye. Thank you.